If you guys want to use the raise hand function, we'll get to you for questions. We'll start off with Joe Smeltzer.
Sorry about that. Hey, Beau, thanks for taking the time.
Of course, thank you.
Yeah, so obviously you had a moment in Saturday's game, scoring your first college touchdown. What did that mean to you? And once that happened, once you got in the end zone, what do you remember about just the immediate aftermath of that, with everybody cheering, your teammates congratulating, and all the stuff that comes with accomplishing that before 100,000 plus people?
Yeah, it was a special moment. It was great to cap off, a scoring drive in the end zone and get 6 points. And it was just, a fun moment getting in the end zone for the first time at Beaver Stadium, in front of a big crowd like that. And to celebrate with my teammates, it was a special moment.
Go to Seth Angle.
Hey, Bo, thanks for doing this. We just talked to Drew, and he spoke a little bit about Malik McLean, specifically about how he took this next step kind of heading into fall camp, and we saw him a little bit on Saturday. What exactly did that next step look like, through the spring and then eventually when he made that leap?
Yeah, Malik has done a phenomenal job improving. He came in the spring with the early enrollees, and he was a little bit trying to learn the playbook and trying to get comfortable at Penn State being a newcomer. And he worked his butt off all summer. He did a great job. We were throwing all the time, receivers and quarterbacks, and he's a guy who really took that seriously, was always in the facility, always working hard. And I think by the time fall camp rolled around, you could really see, the difference. He learned the playbook. He was confident. And, I expected to see everything that he did on Saturday night because, he's a really hard worker and he deserves that.
Tyler Donahue.
Bo, hope you're doing well today. Curious what you made of Drew's first start and his performance. He was just named the Big Ten Offensive Player of the Week. You spent as much time with him as anyone, I'd imagine, here in 2023. Leading up to that moment, what do you think of the 60 minutes of football he played and the film you got to see afterwards?
Similar to what I just said to McLean. I mean, he's a really hardworking guy, obviously. And to see all that hard work pay off on Saturday night was really good. He did everything he needed to do for a first start. It's pretty unbelievable the way he played and turnover free and executing the game plan. He did everything, that the coaches asked for the game plan and more. He made plays when we needed it. And he did a really good job. So I was, really proud of him as a fellow quarterback.
Joe Lister.
Well, obviously, you got thrown to Saturday's game as a bit of a wrap up as a backup quarterback, but James has talked throughout the offseason about how he wants to use you alongside Drew and during games. How would you like to be used throughout the season as kind of that second option?
Really just, there's a different game plan each week, and whatever Coach Yursich and Coach Franklin decide to use me, I'm willing to do that. Whatever I can to do to help the team win, really.
Go to Rich Scarcella.
Good morning, Bo. Thanks for doing this. Besides the touchdown, this was your first game in almost 2 years. What was that feeling like, and what did you learn from that experience?
Yeah, well, you're right. I didn't really realize that. It was probably my first game action since high school. But it wasn't too different because, I've been preparing, all last year with, the scout team and fall camp. It's really going against our defense is really, prepares you a lot. Going into the game, it's just different because there's crowd in the stands. But from that standpoint, just executing the game plan, and just, sticking to my rules and what I needed to do and just staying focused.
Allie Baruby.
Hey, Bo. We talk a lot about how you and Drew have made each other better. Iron sharpens iron, all of those things. And the coaches have talked about your skill sets, kind of how they compare to each other and the strengths that you bring or the strengths that he brings. But how do you guys complement each other as leaders on the team? I mean, it's a young quarterback room, but everyone's looking at you guys. So do you find that you're kind of balancing each other's out, or what do you think you do well or he does well in that environment?
I think, I've talked about this before, but just being quarterbacks on the team, I think you have to be a leader no matter what. And I think Drew's done a great job ever since, January, really doing that and realizing that, the quarterbacks are the leaders of the team and, we're the quarterbacks now. And ever since, January, I think we both, kind of taken that to the next level because we need to be leaders. And I think Drew's done a great job, on Saturday night as well, talking on the sideline, communication with the offensive line, what we need to fix, stuff like that. And, he's done a great job.
Morgan Chapman.
Hey, Beau, thank you for your time. I was curious what your thoughts were on the offensive line play while you're on the field. Obviously, working with a different unit, but just in general, running the football while you're out there. What do you think about the offensive line play?
I thought the offensive line had a great night. They're a stout group, and it wasn't just 5 guys who played out there on Saturday night. It was, a lot of guys rotated in, and a lot of guys showed a lot of good stuff. And, they did a great job protecting the quarterback and opening up, gaps in the run game, and I thought they played really well.
Frank Bodani.
Hey, Drew. Good morning to you, man. As the backup quarterback, how do you help Drew as a starter? Is there certain things that you are expected to do? How do you go about that?
I think we just help each other. Whether, if Drew's on the field and I see something and he comes off the field and he asks me, what did you see on that? I think we kind of bounce ideas off of each other. And then, just getting to know, the game plan for that week and kind of, asking each other questions and figuring out, what are we going to do for this protection and stuff like that. I think, all the quarterbacks in the room really kind of work together from that standpoint.
Donnie Collins.
Hey, Beau, did you go to school at all last year on how Drew handled the backup position? Because young quarterbacks are used to playing, and that is part of the transition when you come in. And, how did he handle the backup position in a way that you think could help you handle it this year and make yourself better?
I think the standard rule of always prepare as if you were the starter. And that's what I did. I did it last year too. So, it wasn't much of a change for this year. You always got to prepare as if you're the starter. So then, when you get into a game, nothing changes. You don't have to do anything different because you're prepared.
Audrey Snyder.
Hey, Beau, thanks for doing this. Frank's out here taking my questions again. Wanted to ask you about the other quarterback in the room, about Jackson Smolik. What have your impressions been of him, kind of as he settles into his role?
I think Jackson's done a great job. He came in, as an early enrollee in the spring, kind of like McLean, trying to get to know the playbook and get settled in at Penn State. And, he worked hard in the summer, had a great fall camp, and he's been a great addition to the quarterback room ever since he got here.
Seth Engel.
So James told us post game, what he saw from you was kind of what he had hoped, the rest of the coaching staff would kind of see, what he kind of saw from you in high school. What did James see from you in high school that maybe other coaches didn't see, and what kind of quarterback really are you?
I'm not sure. I think, the game that he came to, I was really efficient at it, and I don't think I threw an incompletion in that game. And I think really he, just saw, that I could be efficient and calm and also, just manage the game, and make plays when they're there. And I think that's, what he wanted me to do Saturday night in the game, put an efficient drive together and then 6 points.
Joe Smeltzer.
Yeah, so Beau, Khalil Diggins is a guy who a lot of people are excited about. James talked highly of him over the summer at Big Ten Media Days. We had Theo on last week. He spoke highly of him. What have your impressions been of him over this offseason and early in the season throughout practices? And what do you think the overall feeling of his progress has been from not just yourself, but the entire quarterback room?
I think Khalil's done a great job. He's always been a freakish athlete. He's got great size, super strong, faster than you think. He blocks well. He runs great routes, has great hands. And really, he's taken the next step by, getting in the film room a little more and really being dialed in on the playbook and the game plan, I think that's transitioned to the games. I think, he's gonna have a really solid season this year, a really good season. And, it's a credit to his hard work in the summer and fall camp.
Christopher Heidel.
Hey, Beau, thanks for taking my question for today. What was it like throwing a college touchdown after a couple of years being in high school? How cool was that?
It was a good experience. That's, when I got on the field for the first time on Saturday night, that was the end goal. You wanted to, score a touchdown and extend the lead. And, it was a great feeling, crossing that goal line, getting in the end zone.
Tyler Donahue.
Yeah, Beau, years ago, you passed along a photo of you in a Penn State uniform on Halloween. I don't know what year it was, but a long time ago. To go out and actually reach the end zone in Beaver Stadium wearing that legitimate Penn State uniform, what has it meant to the folks back home in your household, but also in that community?
Yeah, I think it meant a lot to them. And, I know it meant a lot to my family as well. My grandfather was in attendance and my mom and my sister. And, it means a lot to me that it means a lot to them. I'm, proud, to represent, where I'm from, York, Pennsylvania. And I know a lot of people back home are proud of that too.
Derek Bast.
Hi, Beau. The last few years, it was Drew Aller in game 1 last year, and it was Will Levis a couple years ago against Ohio State, where backup quarterbacks had the opportunity here to go out and do their thing and provide a big moment for the season. How do you keep yourself ready in case that moment comes your way as well?
I think you always got to prepare as if you're the starter. If you do that and you stay ready, that's all you need to do. When you get in the game, nothing should be different. If you're picturing yourself that night, like I'm going to be the starter of this game, you don't have to do anything different. It'll be, an easy flow into the game.
Mark Wogenrich.
Sorry about that. Hey, Beau, appreciate your time. Coach Franklin has mentioned a couple of times comparisons between you and Trace McSorley. How much did you watch Trace? And how old were you when you started watching Trace? And are those comparisons valid?
Well, I started watching Trace, as soon as he became the starting quarterback. Probably watched every game that he played because, I was a Penn State football fan. So, I always watched him growing up. I think I was in middle school. And Penn State being my favorite football team, I always wanted to be like the Penn State quarterback. So, I think, we wear the same number and, I guess we look pretty similar. So I guess you could say, we have similar playing style as well.
All right, folks, we got time for 3 more questions. We'll go Todd Sadowski, Ali Barubi, and we'll end with Morgan Chapman. Go ahead, Todd.
Hey, Beau, what's up, man? Hey, look, wanted to ask you about the moment that they said you're going in, what that was like on the sidelines with a little over 3 minutes left, and then the game coming up against Delaware. These are traditionally games the backup gets more playing time and a little bit of a connection with your brother Cade, having played there. So can you talk about maybe that opportunity to play against Delaware and what it was like to get your number called against West Virginia at the end?
Yeah, it was good. I got the call, you're going in next drive. And I was super excited, started warming up, made sure the arm was loose and made sure, I was prepared, I prepared as if I was a starter before the game and, just wanted to put a successful drive together. I was glad I could do that. And as far as Delaware, it's pretty cool. My brother went there, played quarterback there. And, I know a few of the guys on the team because he was roommates with them and they're still there. And it'll be a fun experience Saturday.
Ali Barubi.
Todd's on my wavelength as well. I was thinking about Cade and how much you guys worked together in high school and now with what he's doing. Do you lean on him to talk about how do you handle these moments or what advice is Big Brother giving you?
Yeah, we just talked on the phone yesterday. Just talked about how his game went and how my game went. And, obviously we talked about Delaware. We're always talking about football. He's a great role model for me, great person to bounce ideas off as a quarterback. And I think, he helps me a lot in every area of the game. And I think, he's done a phenomenal job just preparing me as a college quarterback.
And Morgan Chapman, go ahead and wrap us up.
Hey, Bo, I was wondering, Mike Yurcich being in the booth this year, how was that adjustment for your first game? And did you see any difference, I guess, while Drew was out there, even while you were playing with Yurcich not being on the sideline with you guys?
Yeah, I think, Coach Yurcich told me and Drew, he's going to be in the box this year, and whatever Coach Yurcich felt most comfortable doing, that's what I'm comfortable with, and that's what Drew was comfortable with, and we have Danny O'Brien on the sideline now. For sideline communication, and it's nothing too different. We get on the headset after a drive with Coach Yurcich anyway. So whatever Coach Yurcich is most comfortable with, we are too. And Dan O'Brien's been a big help on the sideline as well.